conservation officer in Decatur and Franklin County, Indiana. Steve has gotten in contact with some of the surveying people from Rex Pipeline and has actually even arrested them for being on property illegally, and I'd like Steve Delft to give you some comments.
The day I encountered him here, I just was routinely driving down the road and I saw set up over here in the field survey equipment on a tripod type thing, and at that point in time I advised him he's in violation and was subject to be cited for trespassing.
What did they tell you about their right to be on that property?
I don't believe at any time they said they had permission.
Didn't they do some damage on his property?
Yeah, there was about 20 trees was cut during that survey.
Do you have any thoughts of what the environmental impact would be of the pipeline coming through here?
3 or 4 properties right through this area, they're all classified forest areas, you know, and that's a pretty significant timber loss right there.
You would have
just
to say hundreds, if not thousands, of trees
absolutely
would be taken out on a permanent basis.
Forever, you know, I mean, they'll never be allowed to grow back.
And that's got to have an impact on the wildlife habitats. Oil and gas industry's interests aren't going to trump the environmental interests that the landowners and the residents and citizens of Indiana and Ohio are very protective of. So. We're on the property of Mr. Ray Hatton here in Decatur County. What we're trying to get across here is how the pipeline is coming across the field, and also the archaeological significance of this area is that this is all originally was Native American. We know the Indians lived here for many, many centuries. Some of the artifacts that have been turned up have been identified by the FERC people as pre-archaic. Can be anywhere from up to 8,000 years old.
Joe was referring to the pre-archaic, and you can see the difference. These two are pre-archaic. This one is the Indian style. It's got the notches cut out and the edge stays, where these two do not have that, and it's a different type of attachment to the handle, the arrow, whatever they used. And those were made and carried by a nomadic tribe.
Oh, okay.
It's not native to this area. The limestone like this is the type that would be native to our area.
And how's the eminent domain situation? I mean, is that if they're going to come in and do it anyway, even
the eminent domain then will allow them to take that property from the landowner. The court then would set the amount that the landowner would be compensated. But since they're not purchasing the land, they're only purchasing the right to go across it. The landowner still has to pay taxes for that property. They still have to upkeep, the property. They have to do anything and everything that a normal property owner would have to do. It's just that they don't have the rights to use that easement anymore. The sad part of the eminent domain is the federal government is turning over the rights to use the power of eminent domain to a private company for profit. Because they'll do whatever they can to get the pipeline laid, and they're going to go through with it if they aren't stopped. So. See, this stake very clearly says Rex East, which is the pipeline project that we're dealing with. Who knows, this may have been the surveyor's lunch, we don't know, but it seems strange that it would be right here next to the post. And Obviously the pipeline is going to then proceed on across this field and destroy more trees and cross more creeks and down to the Whitewater River, which is a major tributary flowing into the Ohio River, and then from the Ohio River on into the Mississippi. So I think what we've shown you here is enough of an indication of the kind of land that's going to be, that basically the pipeline corridor is going to go through, the types of trees, forests, water, all kinds of habitats that are going to be affected, and for no particular purpose or no benefit to the people of the state of Indiana.
What do you think the cows think about it?
I think that they probably won't like it when they see it come through.
You like the pipeline? No. No.
Our residents, we have a pond here. Our total acreage is about just a little less than 5 acres. Right-of-way itself would end up being about 75 feet from our front door. Get the property about right here, which means, again, 25 feet either side of that pipeline composes the 50-foot easement. All of those trees will go. This tree, and it will be within a few feet of our existing garage here. And that's a very dangerous situation, and it's also going to be taking out a significant number of trees, and there's also ponds on both sides of this area, and if it was something were to rupture on the pipeline, it would certainly cause problems with the water supply, because we have a well on our property and they have a well on their property, and septic tanks and ponds. So all we can say is it would be an environmental disaster if the pipeline were to rupture and explode, and not only be an environmental disaster, if we'd happen to be home, we'd almost surely be killed. If we'd happen to be home, we'd almost surely be killed. If we'd happen to be home, we'd almost surely be killed. And we'd almost surely be killed. And we'd almost surely be killed. And we'd almost surely be killed.